Speak up. You have a voice. You have some problems. You speak. You tell your mama or daddy if you have some issues, even at school. Because yeah, there's bullies in school, and I tell the principals too. You got teachers that will bring it like that. But you have a voice as young people. As the chief and the trooper claimed, it just advised, it's how you come across. As you get older, it's how you come across. As far as being respectful. If that officer is not respectful to you or to your parents or somebody that you do know, then there's ways of dealing with that. It's not in the street. You don't take it out in the street, because when you escalate an event, when an officer has pulled someone over, the officer is in control. Again, as Trooper plainly advised, if he's bringing you, he's not going to bring you out of that car. He wants you to stay in that car. Why? Because again, he's responsible when he brings a person outside of that car. And you got other cars that's coming by, and you see it all the time. Those blue lights are magnets. Another car can hit them. If you see those kind of things, we, and I can say this as far as our African community, we don't speak. You got to speak and let someone know. But again, what has been said, you don't be dirty. If you got something on you, and the officer pulls your vehicle over, and that officer smells something, then it gives them reasonable suspicion and probable cause to take it to the next level. Even if you go to your parent and you've done something wrong, even in school, you tell your parents that. Don't try to hide it or keep it to yourself, because we as parents, we're gonna step up and we're gonna go speak for you. That's what we should do. And again, a lot of parents don't speak for our kids. But for you, respect yourself and demand respect.
You see, and me and Chief both have been to several of these situations, and Troy and Jay, we've made the same comment at every one of those. You see 15, 20, 30 seconds of an event that may have been 30 minutes to 45 minutes long.
Yeah, but it's a lot. It's a lot of events.
It's not when you look really at it as compared to what we go through it every day. It's a lot of events, I'll give you that, but it's not when you compare it to me stopping 20, 30 cars a day out here on the interstate or more, and every one of those encounters, never one of them goes down. I tell people, you control the situation on that traffic stop a whole lot more than I do, the outcome of it and the direction it flows. If you got drugs in the car and I smell it, you control it. I mean, you don't have drugs in your car. If you are mouthy and disrespectful, or you come out of that car when I've told you to stay in it, which is something we'll go outside, then that's a choice you make. And we're all responsible for the choices we make. So if you choose to get out of that car, then you have changed the course of that routine. And I don't like to use the word routine because everyone's different, but you have changed the course of that routine traffic stop by disobeying a directive that I gave you to stay in that vehicle. And that's where these situations go awry. And then the media puts on 30 seconds of somebody getting shot or tased or beat or whatever the situation may be. And I just ask you to keep an open mind about what you do see in the media, what you see on TV shows, what you see on the news, because it's not a full, you don't get a full effect, a full value of what it actually went down. That's all.
Now, let me say this. Some of what you see on the media looked as bad as it looked to you, it looked to me. When you got some of the situations, you got you got an officer on trial now, you got an officer who has just been charged with manslaughter and a few other things. If that looked as bad as it did to you, it looked to us as well. I'm not going to excuse that there are bad individuals in my career field. Sure there are. But I want you to keep this in mind. How many bad students do you know? How many bad teachers do you know? How many bad adults do you know? There's good and bad in everything that happens, right? So just like good people become teachers, bad people become teachers. It's the same thing in law enforcement. Unfortunately, in what we do every day, those bad can really outweigh all the good, right? But I think we have to be conscious of that. And I tell people all the time, listen, every stop I have with an individual, for me, is just one person I stopped today. But for you, it's a lasting impression, right? You're going to walk away from that stop, and you may talk about it for weeks, whether it's good or bad. And so we have to be conscious of that. And I think that's just a retraining of what we do as officers. So I can accept that. But I will tell you this. Don't always believe what you see firsthand value. Give it time and let the facts come out, because you'll find that there's probably more to the story.
Iredell County has had a great history in my career forward of having good community relations and doing right by our citizens. And to me, that's a twofold reason. It's not just that the agencies are good, whether it be Mooresville Police, Troutman, Statesville, Sheriff's Office, Highway Patrol, Department of Corrections, Wildlife, Probation, Parole, who am I missing? ALE, ABC. When you look at all of our agencies, there's over 19 that has at least one officer that works in or through Iredell County. So there's a lot of different badges that come through here, and that confuses the public a lot. But in general, the public has always respected us, and in return, we've gotten along great to help solve crime and keep crime out of our communities, because it has been a partnership. When you see things like what's been happening nationally, it's disheartening to everybody wearing a uniform, and the worst time since the early 70s has law enforcement not having a success in recruiting people to go into law enforcement as a profession. When you see on TV that people are walking up to officers and cursing at them, spitting at them, throwing things at them, and all they're supposed to do is stand there and smile and take it, to me, that's wrong. And in our communities here, we're damn well not going to take that, and I'm just telling you, we're not going to take that. That's not the way it's supposed to work. If and when an officer makes a mistake, and folks, it's going to happen. Officers are human as you are. And when they do make mistakes, there's appropriate procedures and policies in place that these chiefs, sheriffs, supervisors, lieutenants, sergeants, they all want to do right by our citizens and make them accountable. But until they hear from the citizens and until there's an investigation, they don't know how to deal with one. The analogy I used at a couple of our meetings that we have hosted so far, all you parents in the room, think this through for a second in an analogy. If you go home this evening and you cook dinner, do you ask each person sitting down at the table what they would like to eat, and then go into the kitchen and fix it the way they want it, how they want it, when they want it? Or do you decide, I'm cooking supper this way to feed everybody at my table? And when you do cook dinner to feed at your table, if somebody raises their hand and says, I'm not eating that, you fix me something else, are you going to jump up and go fix it? No. Well, you have rules at your house and at your table. And what happens a lot of times in society, most of you folks, good people, raise your children to where they understand who the boss is, okay? It don't mean that your 4-year-old can tell you what to do or how to do it, because you're the parent. Well, when there is a vehicle stop, the law enforcement officer is in charge of that stop. It don't make them right 100% of the time. It does not. But they are in charge of that vehicle stop. If they make mistakes during that vehicle stop, then there's ways to handle it later. Sitting there on the side of the road saying, I refuse to give you my license because I know my rights, is not going to be a good result at the end of the day for the person saying it in this area. It's not. But I thank you all for taking the time to come. Even when we're doing these law enforcement stops out here, it's easy for all of us other badge wearers and you folks to sit there and say, oh, I wouldn't do that, or he or she wouldn't talk to me that way. Just remember, when there's law enforcement involved, somebody has to be in charge, and just by the mere presence of that badge and uniform, 99.9 times out of 100, they are. And if they make mistakes, there's ways to handle it later.